your hottest take now. Everybody has a hot take. You know, some people don't like mangoes because they're annoying to eat. What is your biggest hot take for the fruit industry?
And
while you think about that, did you know? I'm going to give you a fact. You know, one thing that we like to do on the show is every guest we bring on, we want to give them one fact that they didn't know about. Pineapples are actually berries, and its ripening can be sped up by making it stand upside down.
No, hold on. No, wait a minute. Wait.
It's a well-known fact.
I have a thesis on it as well. If you would like.
Yeah,
to read.
I was gonna say, can you release that thesis, please? Can I know where can I have a works cited page? Is that a thing?
Yes. No, I can. I wrote this myself. I spent 36 hours straight writing it in college.
36 hours?
Yes, it's just very, very in depth. You know, pineapples are just a very, very exotic fruit that not many people respect because it's not as accessible as an apple or banana.
I would also just like to say really quick here, sorry to interrupt the flow, but I have officially gone online with my take of the Eat Your Fruits podcast. And for listeners in the back wondering what the footage is, we actually have a currently ongoing video of how to prune your apple trees. So for those growing your own apples at home, this video is informative, and I found it highly entertaining in places, and would recommend you try it out for yourself. But that's all for me. Celebrity guest Cindy, don't let me cut you off for too long.
No, it's fine.
You were saying something about earlier. I didn't get the chance. I didn't want to interrupt you, but you were saying something. You were being stupid and said green apples were bad.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought that this was not like an insulting podcast. I thought we were supposed to.
No, of course.
Dr. Doto, I feel like that was kind of disrespectful.
Dr. Doto, it is important for our very first guest that we don't maybe not call them stupid.
Okay, yes.
We wait for them to leave before we do that.
Understood. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
But your stance on green apples, can I get a little more, substance on that?
Fruits,
well, first off, I think I was asked about a hot take a second ago, and I would just like to give my quick opinion. I think that raspberries are the lesser of berries. They are, in fact, not that good. I do enjoy a raspberry flavored thing, but are they the superior berry? Well, no. Well, that's obviously strawberries.
Just for references, what is the tier list looking like for your favorite of the fruits? Of the berries.
The berries. Say berries again one more time. Why'd you say berries?
Duplicate
berries.
Ruby, thank you for supporting the podcast.
Okay. Well, obviously the strawberry one is superior. Second is the blueberry, which is amazing, by the way. Blueberries, if you get the jumbo ones, they are my favorite.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Last, I'm just going to say is, again, the raspberry. It does not come close to the other two. It's, if anything, it's like, F tier, and the other two are S and A tier.
I can respect that. I would put blueberries more in S tier as well, but it's good enough.
You put blueberries in the S tier next to strawberries?
Yes, 100%. Well, no, but you got to get the right ones. So the thing is there's nothing worse than a bad blueberry. It's sour, it's sad, it tastes like my self-respect. But if you get the jumbo ones, as you mentioned, perfectly juicy, they're not squishy. Chef's kiss.
I would also just like to say, while we're on the topic of these specific berries, in the words of a famous, one of my favorite vegan friends of mine, blueberries are very often to spill. So that is a downside to them. But when not spilled, when you don't spill your blueberries live on stream, they are an incredible treat. An incredible treat for sure.
You know what? I just dropped
Rhyme?
blueberries all over myself.
Is that
sorry, I
You know what?
Dr.Doto? Are you?
Yeah. What?
I apologize, Dr. Doto. I just had something in my eyes. I do want to say, I remember I was on Twitch, which is a streaming website for video games.
Exactly.
And
Love that
a couple
site.
of weeks, yeah, it's a great website. A couple of weeks ago, it's funny you say that. I was watching one of my favorite content creators on there, and he also happens to be vegan. And he spilled his blueberries, and you could literally pinpoint the moment when his heart broke. Because did you know that when a vegan, yeah, that one. Did you know when a vegan spills any form of fruit, especially blueberries, it's like destroying a Horcrux in Harry Potter. So not only was he sad about the act, but like literally you could just see his life being removed out of his eyes. Yeah.
Excuse me, Dr. Dino, I have a quick question.
Okay.
So, well, I guess for both of you, really. So you both do like berries?
Yes.
Bury these nuts in your face?
I would probably say that was a little bit childish and immature, especially considering that this is our very first Eat Your Fruit podcast, and
we only drink fruit.
Maybe we can use that.
Thank you for the sub, and
off the
Toto,
podcast.
thank you as well.
Doto, can I ask your opinion on that? Because I feel like earlier you got one, and I just wanted to double check. Are you okay with what just happened? Are you?
It's the first episode, so we're going a bit loose on the rules here, but we'll see how it irons out in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
I simply would just not have gotten got. That is just unfortunate.
Me as well. That's why I didn't respond.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I mean, 3 times in one stream, Dr. Dino, I would just log off if I was you.
Well, I would log off, but the thing is we have fruits. I ate my fruits before I went live, so I'm happy. There's nothing that can be said to me today that can, take that away from me. So I'm in a good mood.
And I think that's just the best way to put it, honestly.
But, you mentioned green apples. While I know they're not amongst people's favorites, did you know that each variety has a slightly different taste? And
go on.
I apologize. My Discord is lagging.
An
apple a day keeps the doctor away, is where I was going to go with that.
Oh, of course.
Right.
So you were talking about the different tastes of the apples. Are you going to elaborate? Like, I understand there's a Honey Crisp apple. Can you tell me like what that would taste like in comparison to, say, a green apple?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've done some research. I actually wrote a paper on it as well. You said the Honeywell apple? The Honeywell apple actually has
We're literally just going to make a D's Nuts joke right here, so I'm not going to let you. I said Honey Crisp, but
the Honey Crisp apple tastes more like Honey Crisp, whereas the green ones taste like green crayons. This is also backed by my research.
Is that your favorite flavor of crayon?
No. The best flavor of crayon by far is blueberry as well.
I agree. Dr. Doto? Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, sorry.
I like the red crayons.
What is it about the red crayons that makes you prefer that more?
They're just the ones that I often get the fistful of the most.
That's understandable.
You just reach in and grab a fistful of
Well, you
crayons?
know how in elementary school when, the teachers would set out boxes of crayons in the middle of the table?
Dr. Doto, I do have a question for you. Were you a paste eater as a kid? Did you also get a handful of paste along with the crayons?
I wouldn't say I was a paste eater, but I knew my way around an Elmer's glue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, was your favorite character from the Powerpuff Girls the glue kid?
Never heard.
You remember the kid?
Never heard.
You remember the kid in Powerpuff Girls that ate the glue and then he mutated? You remember that?
No.
I will. Don't worry. I'll grab the photo for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see a picture of that.
Looks like I'm coming up on the end of my apple tree video. So
I
replay it. Honestly,
I just feel like when I first saw this in the Powerpuff Girls, my first thought was he reminds me of Dr. Doto. This kid right here. You remember this kid?
Oh no.
And also after he mutated,
he is really he is really sucking that shit down, huh?
He is really eating that paste, and that is an accurate picture. Did you just send a photo of Dr.Doto?
Yes, that is what he looks like.
So you just got a face reveal, essentially. That's
it's only for us. Please don't, share that. Dr.Doto really cares about his privacy.
There's a, patient-doctor confidentiality or whatever.
Yes, 100%.
Well, there's no patient-doctor confidentiality. We're talking about fruits.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, right.
We're coming up on the final 10-minute stretch here.
Yeah, I was going to say the final 10-minute stretch.
I was going to say I'm good now. I appreciate you guys letting me call in and give my hot takes on fruit. I really appreciate it a lot.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on and being the first guest for the first episode.
Now, before you go, you got to let the people know where they can get our podcast. We are available only on one place, and it is on.
So you guys in like the Walmart Great Value shelf, right? There's like a
no Apple. We're only on Apple
streaming
because
services.
Because
Apple,
fruit. Fruit. I see. Very, very smart.
No, and we can't afford physical release, but yes.
Yes, but we're working on it with our Patreon. The Apple thing was Dr. Doto's idea as well. So not only is he an expert on oranges and pineapples, but he also is a marketing genius. So thank you, Doto, for coming up with that idea.
No problem. Thank you for coming up with the general idea for this podcast.
Yeah, we've been working on this for 3 years. Now, for the last segment, I think what we should do is just take some questions from the audience. I'm sure they're all dying to just find out everything that they need to know about fruits. So, Doto, do you want to pick out Dr. Doto, I apologize. Do you want to pick out the first question?
Yeah, sure. Just let me get my, questions here from anybody in the chat. Somebody says, why?
Oh, I noticed that our guest Cinna left. We were going to keep her for the Q&A.
Well, she took it upon herself to leave. I'm not going to hold that against her.
Right. Okay. While you're also looking for questions, I'm also looking for questions.
No, one of the questions was why.
Oh, I have a good one. Is tomato a fruit? According to research by Dr. Albert Einstein, it is actually not a veggie, but a fruit. They are regarded as the world's most popular fruit and have more genes than humans. Did you know that, Dr. Doto?
I was aware of that, actually. One thing I'd like to bring up, since you just mentioned it off the cuff here, why do vegetables get a nickname veggie and fruits are just called fruits?
That is a very, very good question. As somebody who can't really pronounce words that are more than 3 syllables, I prefer veggies, and fruits is just 1 syllable. So I guess there was really no need for it.
Yes, I guess you wouldn't want to go around pronouncing it vegetables, so...
Yeah, exactly. Did you know that the popular character in Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta, comes from the word vegetable?
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you talking about vegetables on this show? Anyway, we're coming up on the last 5 minutes of this fruit podcast thing. And yeah.
My apologies, Dr. Doto. My allergies are just all over the place today, and my eyes just will not stop leaking.
I actually got a good question.
Okay.
There are a lot of rarer fruit that people don't try out. Some are different in cultures, but
right.
The somewhat rare dragon fruit. Do you have any opinions on that?
Ooh, yeah.
Dragon D's nuts across your face. Go ahead.
think they're very exotic and very, very underrated. I feel like a lot of people don't prefer dragon fruit because they're on a more expensive and higher end of the fruits.
There's also the star fruit.
Star fruit?
Yes.
I don't know much about the star fruit. Did you write a paper on that?
I haven't written... Not anything peer-reviewed that I'd be comfortable sharing at this time, but we'll get that written up and peer-reviewed soon enough, I believe.
That's very respectable and understandable. All right, now we are reaching our second segment.
The real final stretch of the podcast.
Now, speaking of fruits, I do want to ask you just how you personally feel about grapefruits. I feel like because of how the internet is, when the word grapefruit gets tossed out, it, you know...
I know exactly, yes, I know.
You know where I'm going when I go with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll admit, for me too, even as a lover of fruits, it's hard not to picture sucking thought when the sound effects of that grapefruit video. But it is, you know, it is what it is, and I think we have to accept that.
Just for the context, you know, we'll make sure that our listeners across the world know what we're talking about. Could you describe this grapefruit sound that you just talked about?
Yeah, I suppose I could. It's like and that's putting it lightly. You'd have to seek out the original source material if you wanted to receive any, you know, clarifications on that, but just for the listeners at home, I think that'll do.
Anyways,
listeners... No. You were talking about pears, correct?
Yeah, well, no, I already gave my opinion, so I was just asking, you know, do you agree on the diet pear thing?
Well, yeah, diet parody's nuts in your mouth, but of course.
Right, okay.
And, yeah, they're just, I feel like they're just disrespected. Mostly because, yeah, for many of the reasons you stated, obviously, and just their form factor, their taste, their inferiority to apples.
So I noticed on our Fruits podcast, you decided to make a These Nuts joke. And, you know, as professionals in this industry, where we are the leaders of this, I would appreciate if we state more mature, if that's okay with you.
Of course, and I didn't mean any disrespect.
Yes, we are going to be playing some video games now on Twitch. We're going to be playing some Among Us.
Yes, some Among Us.
I do want to look at our audience and number one, thank them for tuning into the First Fruit podcast, episode 1. Again, Apple Store.
Only on Apple. And only of course, to close it out, we do like to do a reading of our Patreon list for all our backers that make this show possible. Right. We're going to go top to bottom and thank all of our Patreons.
Yeah, same. I would like to thank Audacious, Billy Grandpa, Play Some Tetris. It's So Slippery. I don't know what slippery is, but it's something slippery. I would like to thank Yasin. I would like to thank Jin. It's Mad Weenie. I don't know why the Weenie's mad. You know, everybody that's been tuning in, much love, and hopefully we can do this once a week, every Sunday at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern.
All right, and coming over to my side, thank you to the Patreons. Let's just go through here and thank everybody that subbed during the podcast. CamPNG, thank you. And that concludes my Patreon backers. So we're getting the show off the ground, I'd say.
All right. Also, I'd like to thank Master Carter as well. Thank you for, you know, the support. So yeah, we are going to go ahead and transition over to Among Us.
This is sponsored by Apple Smile.
This is the single greatest piece of content ever made.
Yes.
This is the second time where we had a massive, colossal waste of time. This week.
I would say so, yes.
And I have no regrets.
Thank you for joining us on the Fruit Podcast. Available on Apple Media.
You know, it is kind of funny if you look into the Discord that we're supposed to be in, the first thing you're gonna notice is there's a giant picture of blueberries. Unironically.
Which Discord?
The one where we're supposed to meet with, Chilled and them.
Oh.
I just happened to notice that, and I thought it was quite hilarious.
It must have known. Anyway, my Amogus isn't launching, so this is concerning.
Well, the last thing that we want to deal with is live troubleshooting. So hopefully that's not the case here.
Yes, I would say so. That would be
quite the anxiety-inducing situation.
To put it in fruit podcast terms, that would just be a pineapple up the ass, to put it lightly.
To our viewers who are still tuned in, the reference is you don't want to stick a pineapple in your ass because they're usually some of the larger of the fruits. It's very uncomfortable.
Yes.
I don't know how he stayed in character for 36 minutes with this shit.
Oh, yeah. My Among Us isn't launching.
Oh my god.
Oh, it launched. Among Us in real life.
And the 2. Yeah. I can't. Doto, I can't believe we just did this shit.
VOD watchers are gonna be confused.
I'm so confused. Yo, when Fake Doto and Fake Rhyme upload this, you gotta just do it as his own segment.